All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Look ahead to the action for Wednesday, October 29th, and we'll have Game 5 of the World Series to feature here on the show tonight after a pretty good Game 4. It was a blowout there for the most part, but this is good news for the Toronto Blue Jays, and they've actually wrestled back that home field advantage from the Dodgers, guaranteeing the series returns back to Toronto with Game 5 scheduled in LA on Wednesday night. And then we'll go back to Toronto for the final two games, or one game, or two games of the World Series Friday and Saturday night. Feels like it might be, hopefully, a 7-game series. And wouldn't that be exciting after what we saw on Tuesday night at the World Series? The Dodgers lose to the Blue Jays 6-2. Series now tied 2 apiece. There, for the most part, the Dodgers were the team that looked exhausted. Now, maybe the enthusiasm, maybe I just was waiting to see the way the game played out and trying to judge who paid the price for the late night. Although Dave Roberts did say that today got here real quickly in his pregame press conference, and it was the Dodgers that looked more tired than the Blue Jays. Vladdy Guerrero hit the 2-run home run off of Shohei Ohtani. Bo Bichette had that RBI single that kind of get that rally going in the seventh inning. Another big inning, 5-run rally. Ohtani was pulled in the seventh inning, gave up just 2 runs, but 6 hits, and he basically was outdueled there by Shane Bieber. He went 5+, allowed just 1 run, and then Banda comes in. Blake trying to give it up, allowed 4 runs out of the bullpen in that 7th inning rally, and it was the Blue Jays getting the win and taking, evening the series. But again, they get to go back to Toronto no matter what happens in game number 5 here tonight with Blake Snell and Trey Savage tonight in game 5. We'll preview it here in just a few moments, but certainly that was the featured attraction there on Tuesday night. You can join me in the chat. Want to hear from you and your comments. Starting to fill up here in the lobby. So let's go ahead and talk about a few more results from last night. Some winners we had here on the show on Night Moves last night, and maybe chalk a little NBA as well, in the big 16-game NHL card last night with the Frozen Frenzy. Went all night, and man, there was some good games in there too as well. Hey man, we're getting close to college basketball here this season as well, starting on Monday. That is a daunting schedule to open up your handicapping. You might want to get started now, the way that card looks on Monday night, but that should be pretty awesome. To add another sport here, we'll be previewing college basketball every day, usually the top 5 or 10 games right here on Night Moves, depending on the day of the card and how many games there are. We'll give you a look at the best matchups every night here on Night Moves. All right, we had the Sixers and the Wizards game to go over yesterday, and it certainly did. How about Alexander Sarr? Look, we've had him, just felt like for him, I'm not saying it was a breakout game. He's had some pretty good moments here in his young NBA career, but it did look like last night he looked pretty good. I know the Sixers did come back, got that win. They came back big time on the Wizards. Wizards should have had that one, no excuse. But Sarr, strong performance for the Wizards. I noted him as a kind of the player that stood out to me. But the Sixers did come back to get that win and cover last night. So a little bit of a choke job there for sure. Let's just be square about it in the 139-134 win there for the Sixers. Another win to move to 4-0. Sixers have gone over in all 4 games. We had them to go over in that game last night. Also, Charlotte Hornets and the Heat, we had that one to go over, as well as the Heat put it down on Charlotte there last night, but we went over that total in the 144-117 win. Shame on me, right? Said, hey, I like what the Heat are doing. Watch out. I'm going to be taking the Heat more, and then went with the Hornets eventually. But my pick here on the show was the over, and we got that one in. Those two teams now a combined 7-1 to the over, and the Heat are 4-0 ATS so far this season. All right. Also, it was the Thunder over the Kings, but the Kings got the money there in an under. Also, nationally televised doubleheader. Bucks over the Knicks. The Bucks got it done. They're knocking off the Knicks. The Bucks moved to 4-0 ATS with their third win of the season. And late night, Clippers and Warriors. Warriors stymied the Clippers again. Another weak performance by the Clippers. Second one of the season already. This is against a better team, certainly in the Warriors here, but Clippers right now look like they are struggling. The Warriors improved to 4-1. All right, I'm going to say hello to a couple friends in the chat, including Mr. Weskers is here today. He likes what Curry did tonight, and Kendrick Moe. Nice to have Kendrick Moe in there. And Mr. Weskers said, yeah, that might have been a bad beat there for the Wizards. But, hey, man, Sixers, like we said, I mean, you don't worry about although we knew that once Embiid was ruled in, it certainly does help the team, but maybe that is what they needed, was a little extra there on their roster on that game to win it. Okay, Ron Jeff wants to say hello, Ron Jeff, as well. Hey, NHL wasn't too bad. That big card yesterday, but we did bring home some winners here on Night Moves last night in the NHL, including the under in that Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game. Philadelphia ended up winning it in a shootout. We had the under here on the show. Calgary and Toronto, we had the over there in the 4-3 win for the Leafs. Also, winners included Winnipeg Jets over Minnesota. We had the Jets. They won it in overtime 4-3. Also, winner with Detroit and St. Louis game to go over in the 5-2 Detroit win. We had the Stars over the Caps here on the show last night, 1-0. Stars won it 1-0. We said it was going to be a low-scoring game. It was 1-0. Stars got the win for us. Also, we had the Blackhawks. 7 goals for the Blackhawks. They routed the Senators. We had the winner here on Night Moves. Also, winner with Devils and the Avalanche over. Yeah, I guess so. 8-4 Abs in the featured game. It was 5-0 before most of the people got into the arena. Well, I don't know if it was that fast, but it was 5-0 early. In fact, 5-0 in the second period. Then here comes New Jersey all the way back. It was 6-4 after 2, and then Colorado put 2 in the third to win it. Utah and Edmonton, we had that one over in the 6-3 Oilers win over the Mammoth. We also had the Rangers over the Canucks on the road last night in the 2-0 victory. So just a okay day there, it felt like, though, still with that big card in the NHL. Also, college football brought you a winner with Kennesaw State, said lay the points in that win over UTEP. You know, last night when we were on the show, it was 10 points. It went all the way up to 12.5 and 13. They still got the money for the most part. There was some 13s out there at post time, but most of them were 12.5 or lower. So the Kennesaw still somehow finds a way to get that win. And also James Madison crushed Texas State 52-20 in that one. All right, Ziggy's here today as well, ready to go here. We're going to have a great show with our previews today, including NBA, big card here, 10 games, and 1 game in the NHL after the big 16-game frenzy last night, 2 in college football that we'll talk about as well. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. Hey, you can go over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com, and there you'll find our premium picks, absolutely our best picks every day at Tony's Picks. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Wednesday. We'll be propping it up again in the World Series, and we'll also look at some other sports, some tennis and some soccer. Take a look at the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. And you'll see we have DeAndre went 3-0 yesterday representing the team here on Night Moves. Let's sneak a peek and see what DeAndre had for his winners here on Tuesday night. It was the Golden State Warriors in that win over the Clippers. How about it, DeAndre? Golden State rocked the Clippers. Man, they held them to 78 points. That's got to be a major concern here right now. Warriors have looked pretty good for sure. They've got the chemistry, looks terrific. Also, DeAndre had the Bucks in that win over the Knicks last night, and they got it done at home in that one, putting the Knicks down 121 to 111, and he had the over in James Madison and Texas State. Heck, James Madison almost went over by themselves. So great job, DeAndre. Take a look at his picks here for Wednesday night. He's got two in the NBA with Orlando and Detroit, Portland and Utah. And he's got that college football total with Florida International and Missouri State. So check DeAndre out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Check me out as well over at Tony's Picks. Let's see how everyone did here yesterday as well. You had some of our friends here, including Justin McKelvey going 2-0. Let's see how Justin got it done with his two winners here. On Tuesday night, he had the Calgary Flames and Toronto Maple Leafs to go over, as did we here on Night Moves, and he had the over in the game between the Knicks and the Bucks there last night, and it went over 232 points. Goes over for Justin. Great job. All right, like I said, use that promo code Tony T at checkout to purchase any of the premium pick packages. There's Al Ninos 2-0 on the day. Jorge was 1-0 as well. Brian Palmer in there the winning day. Good job to the handicappers over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can click the upcoming tab, and then you'll see all the premium winners coming, all the premium winners coming up there in chronological order, listed there for you so that you don't have to delay. Get right to the top of the action every day over at Tony's Picks. All right, let's get ready for some previews now. I'm going to give you some free winners here, hopefully, on every game on the card. That's what I like to do. It's just preview every game, talk about every game, and then make my picks here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, Night Move Show here for a Wednesday. And let's talk about the World Series, shall we? After yesterday, the 6-2 win there for Toronto, and that big inning to bust through there was close, but then the Toronto Blue Jays, like I said, were they the fresher team? Possibly. Could that be the case even when you're on the road? Maybe LA, you got to get home. Maybe it was farther commute for the players, right? You have to go out to your little individual homes out there, and LA, not exactly next to Chavez Ravine, I would imagine. And meanwhile, Toronto can just snuggle up in their hotel room, get right to bed. There was a report that the main Japanese beat writer didn't leave Dodger Stadium until 4 a.m., and he was back at 1 p.m. to cover the game the next day, the pregame interviews. So let's get it down and talk about this one with Trey Yesavage. Been terrific. Everybody knows the story by now. Yesavage basically started in some lower level minor leagues this season, has just worked his way up. A young pitcher who's actually pitched more postseason innings in his major league career than major league innings. And he's been pretty effective. Now, last game he wasn't overwhelming, but hey, when you're throwing a rookie in there and you just need him to get through some innings, he did a great job in that last start. Rematch here basically of game one with Blake Snell going. Snell, a 2.37 ERA, 1.13 whip, 210 batting average against, a 299 BABIP, 15 starts, 8-5 record for Snell. So it's been working pretty good, pretty deep here actually. Dodgers are 10-5 with Snell on the mound. For Savage here, he's 3-1. Blue Jays are 6-1 with Savage on the mound. He's 5-2 to the over in his 7 starts, a 3.82 ERA, 1.33 whip, 220 batting average against for Savage, 320 BABIP. So maybe pitching in some luck here, but just be able to match Blake Snell for sure. Both pitchers riding around that 30% strikeout plateau and maybe 10% walks. Coming into this one. So look, for this matchup, I think here you got the Jays. I don't want to say that their backs are not to the wall now, right? They can afford, I don't want to say not to win. I mean, the Blue Jays wanted to win this game just as the Dodgers do, but the Blue Jays can return home. And you got this price tag very similar to the other ones, right? Where the Dodgers are $2 now. Look, maybe here on the Night Move show yesterday in the game, I said to go under in the first 5 innings there of the start of the game there on Tuesday night. And I mean, it did stay under because it was basically a 4 there for the first 5, right? 4 over 15 or so, and it was just 2-1. So we got the win. We did say, then after that, maybe the floodgates would break open a little bit. It actually never did, as far as, I mean, it still got up to 8 runs. Some sites pushed on the total. Some did go under there in that one, but I think for me at $2, I'm going to have to go back to the Blue Jays here and on the run line is what I'll probably do here. Dodgers, I don't know if they're playing well enough here at this point to win a game by multiple runs. I mean, this has obviously been a struggle as is right now here at this point. And man, when you see the series price now, Dodgers still $2 to win a 3-game series with 2 of them back in LA. Even that doesn't sound like a great price. I don't think anybody really with any sense of value would want to take the Dodgers here, but hey, they'll get 3 more chances here starting with game 5 on Wednesday night. You're welcome to comment in the chat, and I'll make my pick here, but I guess I'm on it with Toronto on the run line here in this one. I want to take the Blue Jays here in game 5 on Wednesday night on the run line. I mean, I feel they're looking pretty great. They're playing with a lot of confidence here. As far as the matchups are concerned with these 2 pitchers, with just Savage, we saw the initial game there, so you can kind of weigh it against that a little bit. They've certainly seen each other within the last week there. So let's see if there's some comments in the chat. All right. Raptors, okay, let's see here. Dodgers for Ziggy. Likes him to get back at it here. Take him on the run line, says Ziggy. I'm going to have to go with Toronto here, though, on the run line in this one against the Dodgers here on Wednesday night. Should be a great game, and we'll see. I mean, like I said, we're going back to Toronto no matter what. So, but if the Dodgers do win, they only have to win one of the 2 games. If the Blue Jays win, then the Dodgers will be on the hook to win both games in Toronto. So gonna have to lay a little bit there, probably $1.20 with Toronto on the run line. But man, how can it not be better than a 1-run game here on Wednesday night? I'm going to say it is, and I'm going to take Toronto on that run line. All right, that's going to do it there for the World Series. We got a big NBA card here on Wednesday night. Let's get started with it here right now. And there has been one time change, and it's the Toronto game. They were at Toronto at home. They did move the game up here. We're going to actually lead with that game. The Toronto game has been moved from a 7:40 Eastern time start, and now the game will begin at 6:40 Eastern time. That way everybody can kind of watch the World Series after the game's over. So here we go, and we'll start with that one. It's the Rockets on the road taking on the Raptors here in this one, and the Rockets are favored here pretty substantially on the road in this one. And look, the Rockets are certainly looking pretty decent here at this point, but man, laying some points here on the road to this Raptors club right now. I mean, I know the Raptors are struggling for sure, and hey, the Rockets aren't exactly off to a great start so far either, right? Raptors coming in here 1-3 right now coming into this one. The Rockets are 1-2. These 2 teams are a combined 5-2 to the over so far this season. The Rockets are averaging 124 points per game. The Raptors are allowing 125 points per game coming in. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams have gone over. Yeah, I think with the, I think right now with these two, despite this little bit of a slide here for Toronto, um, I think they are in a position probably to be able to hang here and get this number at 5.5 at this point. I know Toronto's offense may look a little bit lively here on the road, but they're still giving up 116 points per game, and the Raptors are scoring 121 coming into this one. So I'm going to try the Raptors here in this one plus 5.5. In fact, I'm showing right now this game is actually up to 7. I typed these lines in during the World Series game, and now I'm going to be able to. Well, I'm going to just call it 6. There's enough books with 6. I will say this that it's the sharp books that are showing a higher line here at this point. So this one actually could be moving higher if you. I don't think there's any problem in waiting here to take this, but I'm going to take the Raptors here at home in this one. Okay, let's see here. Mr. Wesker says the team is good. I hope they're better than what we've seen so far. There's definitely I have some questions, but I'm going to take the points for sure. Devin Grigsby, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on Night Moves. Let me hear from you if you have time to make some picks. And let's see, Chimichushu has to be the Raps there, he says. Says the 5.5 sounds good. Next up, we have the Magic. We're back in the regular rotation order here. Magic taking on the Pistons. The Magic are a 1-point favorite here pretty much everywhere. Time of this filming. Total here in this one, 225. With the Magic coming in here with a 1-3 record into this one. The Pistons are 2-2. The Magic are 0-4 against the spread so far this season, allowing 119 points per game. Pistons, meanwhile, only averaging 110 points per game, but they've been good defensively, allowing 113 points per game overall coming into this one. For the Orlando Magic here in this one, Orlando has covered 6 of the last 8 meetings against Detroit overall. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under. But Orlando, like I said, struggling here against the number, but I kind of want to take them in this game actually on the road against Detroit. I might have to do more for me with maybe the matchups in this one rather than what we've seen so far from these two teams. Now, granted, Orlando is not winless. They do have a win so far, but they are 1-3 straight up. Pistons are 1-3 to the under so far this season, but for me, I think I like Orlando here. Detroit, they have some good numbers defensively. I don't know if they're as good as what we've seen from them so far defensively, but I would think here Banchero, Desmond Bane, Wendell Carter Jr. can have strong games here. And look, Detroit has some weaknesses on the floor, I would think, in this game against Orlando. I mean, Duncan Robinson and Tobias Harris. I don't know if they're going to skip the production here against Orlando in this one. I'm taking Orlando to win this one on the road over Detroit on Wednesday night. All right, Ziggy likes the Magic here as well. Devin likes the Pistons right now. And Mr. Wesker says, don't get in the way of Detroit at home right now. Possibly the Magic are showing they're still inconsistent, and they are on the road. I'm going to take them here against Detroit. And I'm going to say that Detroit will not have that same defensive level in this particular game. Hopefully they are. Detroit could improve defensively. I mean, that's what they kind of need. It feels like, right, given their current trajectory and their improvement. They do have the better record here than Orlando right now. The Hawks are on the road taking on the Brooklyn Nets here, and the Hawks are favored big time over Brooklyn here by 8. Oh, I think I missed the Cavs and Celtics. Let me just continue on with this game, though. if you don't mind. The Hawks here favored by 8. Total 238.5. How about that? Look, Brooklyn, we know might be. I don't know who is the worst team in the league right now. Is it Brooklyn? They're 0-4, 1-3 against the spread, allowing 130 points per game so far this season. Atlanta comes in though 1-3, 1-3 against the spread. They haven't looked great either, allowing 122 points per game. Now I don't know if this is a spot for the Nets to get their first win. They don't look very good, but they are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 meetings against semi-regular opponent Atlanta. That might be enough for me to get on them here, considering Atlanta hasn't looked that great either so far. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. It's a high total, and it'll probably go over again, it feels like. But I'm going to try Brooklyn in this game, actually. I know I've gotten burned already, I think, with Brooklyn, but I like Brooklyn here. I definitely am putting a little bit of the season history here between these two teams because I'm not sure we're seeing great progress from Atlanta here at this point, especially considering this matchup where Brooklyn, look, the one thing they do, I know that this numbers seem a little bit high now. I think there will be improvement from Brooklyn defensively. Now, I don't know, it'll be enough to even sniff the playoffs, but they're not going to give up 130 every game, are they? They might score 130 in this game against Atlanta, and their weak defense here as well. Both teams are pretty bad, we know, but maybe for Michael Porter Jr. here and Cam Thomas, they can have a strong game here. We know that, look, they're throwing out their Ben Saraf right now, but for Atlanta here, we'll see. I mean, Ricochet, let me look at the injury report here too real quick. Ricochet was on the injured list. He is probable here, so is Jalen Johnson. Right now in this one, Zaire Williams for Brooklyn is questionable with a back injury here, but I'm going to take Brooklyn here in this one, and let's see, we've got and Timmy Chushu has here on the Nets, and could be Mets money line for Mr. Westers. So I knew I was on the right mode here. And Timmy Chushu says somebody hates all the New York teams. Well, I'm going to take Brooklyn. Devin Grigsby here. Let me get to the next game. Devin says, let me make sure I've removed this banner. And then get to Devin's comment. He says, did you ever put out any tennis picks? I think I'm probably the only guy who has regular tennis picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. I like to pick the closest matches. You're not going to find any $2 favorites from me over at Tony's Picks when it comes to tennis. I really pick just the closest matchups. You're never going to have a big, usually it's either a short favorite or a short dog. I keep all my picks right around the closest matches is what I pick over at Tony's Picks. So you can trust in me to give you a pick on some of those closest picks. Check out my picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Devin set me up with a big old softball there, and you get my best tennis plays over at Tony's Picks. All right, we'll continue on here. I got to go back, though. Back in time. I got the Cavaliers. I forgot about the Cavaliers taking on the Celtics here. Let me get the graphic here ready. I don't know why I missed it. All right, Cavaliers and Celtics in this one, a matchup of highly rated teams. But so far, the Celtics are 1-3, and they haven't looked that good for sure. But you got to figure they'll eventually get it going, and maybe here against could it be against the Cavs here in this one tonight? Cavs are favored by 4.5. Cavs are 3-1, but 1-3 against the spread so far. Both these teams are 2 overs and 2 unders in their 4 games, respectively, so far this season. So look, the Cavs here are off to a 3-1 start straight up, even though they aren't covering numbers. That's because they've been laying a lot of points, and they're still laying the points here. Make no mistake. They're also 5-1 against the spread against Boston in their last 6 meetings against one another. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over here. And look, Celtics, for whatever we know the reasons, maybe, right? I mean, there's not really a healthy team here, and they made some big decisions to pare their lineup down here a little bit. It feels like all of a sudden, if you look at how they're running their lineups out there, yeah, they might not be as good, as deep as they were in the past couple of seasons here. Conscious choice, but we'll see what the injury report here. You do have Jaylen Brown on the injury report again. He's been on the injury report every game. He is probable now. He's averaging 26 points and 6 rebounds a game and 4 assists so far. Sam Merrill, he is out of this game for the Cavaliers here. And can they cover a number on the road against a Boston team that's kind of desperate to get back going here at 1-3 right now? To have Brown in a pretty great spot, certainly here in this one. And right now, you're seeing a little bit of a Josh Minott in there for Boston. He's looked good in these last 2 games, and you're going to see a lot more of him after he got those 15 points and 9 rebounds on 6 of 9 shooting in that last game for Minott, the forward for Boston. But again, that's what we're dealing with. Nothing, with Queta and Minott, but you see the type of, I will say the type of players. I mean, these are NBA basketball players, but just Boston, you got some new faces out there a little bit. So maybe there's something to that. I got to go over in this one between Boston and Cleveland here on Wednesday night. I think I'm going to take the over with these two. Look, Cleveland is still going to be good on the road, and Boston, these might be a tight game. Maybe they can get that money. I don't know if they will, but I think both teams are showing defensive lapses right now, even Cleveland. So if these two are going over in their head-to-head, I'm going to go over in this one and give me the over with Cleveland and Boston here on Wednesday night. All right, let's see here. Hey, Oscar Schneider. Nice to see Oscar in the chat today. We talked a little baseball at the top of the show. Ziggy says he likes the Cavs in this one and lay it. And Timmy's got some soccer in the chat if you want to check it out. And Mr. Wesker said, Jaylen Brown, you know what? It's something here. Don't be talking hairlines here on the night moves, Mr. Weskers, okay? I used to have hair like Pat Riley. Now look at me. All right. Let's keep it moving here on Night Moves. And we'll go up next to the Kings are at the Bulls tonight. And, I don't think the trade works anymore. For the old trade makes the main storyline here anymore. But when you got to find a storyline with these two teams, one here is looking good, and the other one's looking like their old selves. Chicago's coming in here 3-0. Break up the Bulls 3-0, straight up 3-0. ATS for these guys right now, pretty strong. You got Giddy in there looking pretty good. Of course, Vooch also very strong, and we're getting Trey Jones with great production here so far. He's been one of the most productive players in the league, hitting all of his props, it seems like, every night out so far. Trey Jones, maybe a little bit of weakness in there with this Isaiah Okoro, not going to bring you a lot of points here. And, well, we know the Kings can get the offense going with Russ in there, and DeRozan. Sabonis is healthy. It looks like he's in there finally. So we'll see, though, what you have in this one with the Kings taking on the Bulls. Bulls by 5 here. You got take a look here with these two. Kings are 2-1 to the over. The Bulls are 1-2 to the under so far this season. Bulls are allowing just 110.7 points per game so far this season. So that's been part of it as far as the Bulls are concerned. Pretty good defense here right now. And, well, laying 5 against the Kings, this team's looking pretty strong. I think I probably want to go with the Bulls here in this one and lay the points in Wednesday's game against Sacramento. Chicago obviously hot here to start, and they've come with the defense and the slower tempo. You look at these totals so far, and I would think that we're going to have some high-scoring games on Wednesday night, but I'm not sure this is one of them. Sacramento remains totally unpredictable on the road, and I think even though this matchup has been tightly contested in recent years, again, they just play twice a year, so I don't know how much you could put into that, but 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone under. But I got to take Chicago here and lay the points against Sacramento. I'm going to lay 5 points with the Bulls against the Kings on Wednesday night. All right. And let's see. Mr. Wesker says you got to keep going with the Bulls here. Ziggy says Bulls against the spread. Hey, if I'm on them and you guys are on them, that might be a Tony's Picks consensus, Night Moves consensus play there. Give me the Bulls with the guys as well in the chat. All right. Halfway through this NBA 10-game card on Wednesday night. Next up, the Pacers are at the Mavericks here. The Mavs are 7-point favorites. These Pacers continue to get disrespected, but they're 0-3. So hopefully this isn't what we're going to get all season with the Pacers right now, but they are looking for a win so far. Not really getting it done with some of the guys they have, and maybe they are the most injured team in the league, right? Nembhard, McConnell, Obi Toppin, Ben Mathurin. I mean, are they all out of this game? It's going to be hard to take the Pacers here with half of a starting lineup in there right now. So, of course, Hallie is out. We know that. But not only that, you got some of the young players, too, that they need. You got Talon Peter. He's doubtful for this game where they need guard help because Nembhard is out. Furphy is out, too. Didn't even mention Furphy. They've been without McConnell here since the start of the season. Cam Jones has been out. The Pacers are the most beat-up team in the league right now. Dallas, meanwhile, Brandon Williams is questionable for this game. Gafford is doubtful. Lively is doubtful. Exum is out. Cooper Flagg with that shoulder injury. Was he trying too many shots or what? Why is Cooper Flagg hurt already just a couple weeks into that? Was it that 1 for 9? Oh, maybe my shoulder was hurt here. But look, Pacers have some real issues here with injuries, and 7 points does feel like a lot, but the Pacers are probably 0-3 for a reason. Dallas is just 1-3 coming in, but they are 2-2 against the spread. Pacers have actually covered 2 of those 3 games so far, but they're allowing 127 points per game. Dallas has one of the weakest offenses so far with averaging just 108 points per game, but I'm going to go ahead and take the over still in this one, despite talking a little bit down about both these teams' offenses here. I would think Dallas can have a pretty strong game, actually, against Indiana tonight, maybe one of their best games here of the season. Indiana comes in here really limping right now, and I'm not sure they're going to have enough at all for Dallas on either end of the floor when it comes down to it. So actually going to be here on Dallas minus the points in this one. I think their offense is going to be returning to form here a little bit right now. And if Indiana is going to be this inconsistent right now here, I've got to take the over in this one with Indiana and Dallas on Wednesday night. All right. And Ziggy likes Mavericks here in this one, and Mr. Wesker is looking for some Clay. Mavs are terrible enough that the Pacers actually make sense here, says Timmy. Yeah, maybe that is the case. The Mavs haven't looked that great either. But like I said, I just feel like the Pacers are running a very weak lineup out there as well. You got Ben Shepherd. He didn't really look that good in the game against Minnesota here. And I would think for Flagg, look, I'll say now, look, he only had 2 points there in that dismal game last out, and maybe you could use that as an excuse. But look, this should be the game he should have his best game of his career, I would think so far here. in this one. He's look 2 of the 4 games he's beat his props pretty much, so I think he could do it here. He's got a good matchup in this one. I'm going to go with the over with the Pacers and the Mavs. All right. Oh, let me see here. I got. Oops, I might have missed a game here. There we go. Trailblazers and Jazz in this one. You got the Blazers favored here on the road by 2 points. At the Jazz here, total 233 in this one. Robert Williams questionable here for Portland. Matisse Thybulle also questionable. And for the Jazz, I'd say Collier, he's still out right now. But those are the major injuries, it feels like, coming in. Here to this one, you got the Trailblazers right now coming in with a 2-2 record, but they're 4-0 against the spread so far. Blazers looking good to the number. They're 3-0, 3-1 to the over, averaging 120 points per game so far this season for the Jazz here. 2-1 record for the Jazz right now. They're 3-0 against the spread, so they're looking decent too. 2-1 to the over, averaging 123 points per game. So, we know that the Jazz at home, they beat the Clippers. They've had an okay run here so far. I think they'll be in this game for sure against Portland here on Wednesday night. I got to think Utah here, even though going back to late last year, they were not winning games. We know that, but kind of want to ride them here a little bit. Now, I will say this, Portland 0-6 in their last 6 games against the Jazz. They've lost 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. So I'm taking the Jazz here, plus a couple of points in this one. I'm taking Utah to at least cover. It's going to be close. They might even take them on the money line, but I want to take Utah here in this one against Portland. I think Utah, to me, I thought their offense caught some rhythm there, and I think Portland, like I said, maybe it's a tough venue here. It is 0-6 overall against Utah, so maybe they've taken them lightly. It's not like Portland has been much better than Utah. Certainly been a little bit better over the last season or two, but I think the Jazz should probably control the tempo and the score. I don't mean control the tempo like down. I think the Jazz might be able to put up some good offense here, actually, against the Blazers. I'm going to take the Jazz, though, plus 2 points here on Wednesday night. Give me Utah. Ziggy, though, is on Portland here in this one, and Timmy likes Utah. He says, I think he likes Utah. He says, because those points, just those 2 points. If it is a close game, right? But I might take Utah on the money line, actually. But my official play, I'll take them plus 2 here. And Jimmy says maybe we'll see Utah with a little bit of life here, a little bit. Pelicans and Nuggets on Wednesday night. You got the Nuggets here, big favorite against the Pelicans. And again, we know the Nuggets sometimes suffer from, not having total motivation to cover big numbers at home. They are 2-1 right now, 2-1 ATS. The Pelicans, they're 0-3. 0-3 ATS. It doesn't feel like they should be that bad, but the offense is struggling for sure. At 109 points per game, the Nuggets are averaging 130 points per game so far and gone over in all 3 games. Now, Nuggets are allowing 120 points per game for sure. So a little bit dicey here in New Orleans. I mean, they haven't won basically now, dating back to last season, 10 straight losses overall. But this has been an okay series in the past for New Orleans against Denver, but for me here, I'll probably just go with the total in this one at 235.5, and I want to go under. 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Now, so far, they're a combined 5-1 to the over here, but I just feel like with this matchup here, I'm going to go with the under in this one between New Orleans and Denver. Look, New Orleans are desperate here to get a win. Zion, actually, I think is going to be take a look here. I think he's going to be on the injured list here right now, questionable with a foot injury. So hopefully Zion will make the lineup. He's missed one game so far this season, I believe 27 points, 9.5 rebounds. He's looked really good. Cam Johnson, shoulder injury for Denver here. He is questionable coming into this one. So hopefully Zion will be able to make this lineup. Like I said, he did miss the game there against Boston. So it's a bone contusion in his left foot. And hopefully Zion's not running into health issues again, because he scored 27 points in each of the last 2 games. So I expect Zion back in there, and I think he can keep them in the game. But I'm going to go ahead and take the under in this one at 235.5 between New Orleans and Denver here on Wednesday night. And we've got Mr. Weskers also wants to see, because of Zion here. Hey, I'm glad he makes a difference here, right? Nuggets for Ziggy in this one. And Timmy Tuchu says he likes the Nuggets in this one. He thinks that laying 13 would be the sharp play here, because who wants to lay 13 points pretty much, right? But again, people could look at that Pelicans record at 0-3 straight up and ATS and say, not again, Pelicans, really? But I kind of think the Pelicans can get at least a cover here. I'm gonna take the under though in this one as my play, under 235.5. Don't like too many unders tonight, but did give you a couple of them here on the show. Lakers and Timberwolves here, and man, the news is bad for the Lakers here. I know we've already talked about it ad nauseum, but you're going to have more personnel issues here tonight, more injury issues here for the Lakers. I mean, now Gabe Vincent's out 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. We know that Luka's got issues here right now with that quad injury, keeping him out of the lineup. Marcus Smart, he's got a quad injury, questionable. Jackson Hayes, a knee injury, he's questionable. Maxi Kleber, he's got an oblique, he's out. And LeBron's already out as well. I mean, it's just a bad situation here against this Timberwolves team right now that take them back home. They've already met. You got to figure the Wolves here, 0-4 against the spread. They got to get a spread win, man. They're not an awful team. We know that. Like, both teams are 2-2 coming in, but I think the Wolves are going to set off tonight and blast the Lakers here. Look, the Wolves are averaging just 114 points per game. That might be one of their issues here right now, but I'm going to take them to drub the Lakers here on Wednesday night. I'm going to lay 7 points in this one with Minnesota against the Lakers here. Yeah, the Wolves haven't covered yet, but I think their offense is due, quote unquote, due for a breakout here. Both teams, like I said, trending over for sure. And this one looks a little low, actually, sometimes we question the Lakers, maybe their offense here or something. Would that be the issue? These two teams are a combined 7-1 to the over, and 224 is the lowest total on the board in this game. So I don't know. Maybe the Lakers are coming in for a clunker, but I see the Wolves as having a pretty strong game, and so I think the Lakers could at least get to their season average possibly here, or maybe within 115 points. I know that's still kind of close to an under there for sure, or barely an over. But I think the Wolves tonight are going to take down the Lakers and cover here in this one. Mr. Western says the Lakers have a ton of injuries. I don't think you've seen it. Ziggy here liking the under in this one, though. And Mr. Western says he doesn't want to lay points with this Wolves team for sure. All right. Well, we got one more here on the 10-game card. And it's the Grizzlies taking on the Suns. In this one, you got the Grizzlies coming in 2-2 right now, and 2-2 against the spread. The Suns, meanwhile, come in 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. These two teams are combined 7-1 to the over so far this season. Grizzlies come in here allowing 125 points per game. The Suns are allowing 129 points per game coming in. So I think I want to go over with these two here in this one. After what we've seen so far this season. In fact, this total got steamed a little bit, and we're seeing some 241s out there right now, open as low as 236 and a half. And I'm going to take the over in this one with the Grizzlies and the Suns here on Wednesday night. I think Memphis here, it's nearly a toss-up game for sure, and we'll see if Memphis. I kind of favor them on the road here with these two teams, but we'll see what you guys have, if anything, in the chat here on that late game on Wednesday between Memphis and Phoenix. I would think Devin Booker here, though, could have a pretty strong game and keep his momentum going right now. Also, Ja Morant here and Jackson for Memphis as well. Give me the over in this one. And, man, I got a night of overs here, I think, with the games. Once again, man, these totals continue to go pretty high here. And we hit a couple of overs there on Tuesday night. All right, a couple more plays from you guys. Mr. Weskers, maybe with the Sun. Timmy's on the over. Mr. Weskers, maybe with the Suns here at home, right? And the Grizzlies for Ziggy. And Timmy says he's got this one at I don't know what it's got, 144. Okay. All right. I think that does it for the NBA on Wednesday night. And have a great card there with 10 games. Kind of the featured coverage there after the World Series on Wednesday night. Right. There are 2 games in college football here on Wednesday night. And we're going to Jacksonville State on the road, favored in this one by 5 against Middle Tennessee State. The Blue Raiders, it feels like they are slowly improving. I know we're kind of getting late in the season here, but Jacksonville State's actually had back-to-back buys. Is that a thing, or is it just extended bye? They beat Delaware 38-25 behind Caden Creel, 173 yards of total offense. So the freshman has been kind of in here and doing a pretty good job for Jacksonville State. He came in that Southern Miss game, and then he got that start against Sam Houston. So, it was also a short week when he was playing Delaware with these weeknight games. So he left the game with a tendon injury, but it won't impact him here probably, I don't think. Coming into this one, Middle Tennessee came in off their bye week, and they lost to Delaware 31-28. So you can kind of make the comparison maybe with the common opponents here in conference play. But they only have one win this season. That was that final minute comeback against Nevada in mid-September, but they lost to Missouri State by 2. They lost to Delaware by 3. Delaware's pretty good. And then Jacksonville State, I don't know if they're better than Delaware necessarily, but I think for me, I'm going to end up trying to take these points with Middle Tennessee and their one win here. Feels pretty ugly for sure, especially when you got a Jacksonville State here coming in 4-3 right now, but I'm going to be on Middle Tennessee State in this one. So they're outgaining opponents so far in conference play, believe it or not, just barely, but they are. So there's a little bit of positive regression if you're into that sort of thing. And I think for Vadiato, the quarterback here, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 62%. And they do have Middlebrook. They do have to run him quite a bit because they really don't have much else out of the backfield here. But I know that Middle Tennessee, they do give up a lot of sacks, and Jacksonville State could get at it a little bit here, but they're not really overwhelming at getting to the quarterback. So I'm going to end up taking the points here. Both teams are pretty bad in pass defense, but the total could be a little bit high for me here, actually. Middle Tennessee's got some awful stats, actually, against the pass, but I think this might be a little bit of opposite of what we might be expecting as far as defense is concerned. I'm taking Middle Tennessee State +5 there with their one win this season, but I'm going to grab them here and take the points over Jacksonville State in a Wednesday night conference game. All right, Mr. Weskers, there's plenty of money to go around, especially when you're playing on the weeknight and getting a little bit of a little bit of money. All right, Ziggy's gonna go. Oh, he's leaving us. Thank you, Ziggy. I thought he was gonna go to the game. All right, next one here we got Florida International taking on Missouri State, and get to this one here with these two. You got Missouri State coming in here with a 4-3 record. Florida International 3-4 coming in, and yeah, Missouri State may be the favorite here in this one, but I don't know. It probably could be a close game, I would think, here right now. FIU was kind of a no-show there last week against Kennesaw after they played Western Kentucky really well. So Missouri State here got Clark back for that last game. He threw for 283 yards in a 24-17 overtime win for Missouri State. They actually outgained New Mexico State in that game by 120 yards, but there was 6 interceptions in that game overall. Florida International did have 518 yards in the loss to Kennesaw, averaging pretty much probably close to 10 yards per play, not per play. Let's see. I got the stats here actually. 13 yards per reception, 6 yards per carry. So they were kind of explosive in that game. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think we're going to go over in this one with Florida International and Missouri State. Give me the over between these two in this one. I know Missouri State's gone under in 6 straight games here right now, but Florida International, I don't know if they have the defense necessarily to totally clamp down on them right now. Florida State's done a nice job covering actually over the last season and a half, 10-5 ATS overall. It's just that they've lost 10 of their last 11 games on the road dating back to last year. This is still rated as a close game. I'm going with the over, though, in this one between Florida International and Missouri State at 50 on Wednesday night. I've got one game in the National Hockey League. On Wednesday night, it'll be the Maple Leafs on the road taking on the Blue Jackets. If you wonder if these two teams are on a back-to-back, of course they are. Every team played in the NHL last night, so only one game back here tonight, and it'll be the Jackets here. They were just on the road. They beat Buffalo on the Frozen Frenzy game there on Tuesday night. It was Buffalo getting Columbus getting the win on the road 4-3 in overtime. For the Maple Leafs here, they also played on Frozen Frenzy night, of course, and it was Calgary losing at Toronto 4-3 in regulation in that one. So I think for me, Columbus here, I'm going to make them my call actually in the game on Wednesday night here with Merzlikins. I think, let me make sure we got the goalie straight here for our one game. All right. There we go. I think I'm a little technical glitch here. All right. Yeah, you know what? I got Jet Greaves actually here on 2 of the sites that I use. So let me make sure I change it to Jet Greaves here, but I don't have a problem with the backup in here. 2-3, 2.8 goals against for Greaves, a 90.5% save percentage here in this one. For Stolars, 3-4-1, 3.27 goals against, and an 88.5% save percentage. Look, I think it could be a high-scoring game, but I don't know if I'm willing to go totally in yet on the total. I think you can find some sixes out there, maybe, but it's 6.5 over pretty much everywhere. So I feel like the stronger play for me is going to be on Columbus. I do think there will be goals, but yeah, you got pretty much one of the higher totals you can get here so far this season at 6.5 over 15. I'm going to go with the Blue Jackets in this one over the Maple Leafs here on Wednesday. All right. And let's see there. Greg said it'll be 28-24, I think, in that football game. Okay, thank you. And here's Mr. Weskers. He likes the Jackets, and this one will be an agreement. Mr. Weskers and I take the Jackets in this one. Oh, man, that's going to do it for Night Moves here for Wednesday's games, October the 29th. Thank you for joining me here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. Make sure you head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use that promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off premium pick packages from our team of handicappers over at Tony's Picks. You can check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot and then get signed up. See some of the hot cappers there from yesterday, like DeAndre Stevenson, Justin McKelvey, Alessandro Rodriguez hitting 67% over the last week here as well. So check out the premium picks over at Tony'sPicks.com from our team of handicappers, all locked and loaded and ready to go. Alessandro's got a college football best bet in the Jacksonville State Middle Tennessee game. DeAndre has his best bet in the NBA as well. So make sure you check out the team of cappers. There's Al Ninos. He's got his Wednesday alley-oop. So their best plays are over there at Tony'sPicks.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15%. All of my best picks every day are at Tony'sPicks.com. Thank you for joining me here on the show. We'll also have more action on the pitch for Wednesday as well. Check it out over at Tony'sPicks.com. We've got action here in major leagues across the pond. Serie A's got a big card, and League One's got a big card too. And the Major League Soccer playoffs continue on Wednesday night after we saw the game there on Tuesday between NYCFC, the 1-0 win over Charlotte. Tomorrow it'll be another game here in MLS playoffs with Austin against LAFC out at LAFC in that one. LAFC, a pretty substantial favorite, but more MLS soccer playoffs continue here this week. And don't forget, man, Monday, get ready. College basketball gets underway, man, with a huge card. So we'll have more picks on the show in college basketball on Monday. All right, it's going to do it here for Night Moves and for Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves. Tony's Picks.